Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
No. I am your father.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Hey everyone, my name is Danny, and welcome to Kessel Run Weekly. This week, unfortunately Heather was not able to be with us, but we have a special guest for our fan focus of the week. I have with me today Bobby White, who consequently is my father. He is a BB-8 builder, and so we're going to talk about his Star Wars fandom and his BB-8 build and just really all things Star Wars. First off, I want to say Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. I would imagine that most of you are better than Vader, not cutting off your son's arms or anything like that, or hands. Everybody's intact. My hands are intact, so that's good. Thank you, Dad. So Bobby White, everyone.
Hello.
So I wanted to have you on here because you've been working on something pretty incredible for the last year, actually. Not quite a year, almost, I think. It's been a year since we started the BB-8 and all that, because he made a special appearance in mine and my wife's wedding, a version of BB-8 rather. So why don't you tell me, what about BB-8 inspired you to want to build?
Well, a little background is that I always liked R2-D2, and I've always liked droids. My job, I work with robots, not robots like these, but robots that have drills and things like that on there. They're very interesting and very fun to program. And so then we went as a family to go see Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and they had a neat little robot on there, BB-8, that was rolling around. And my son and I said, hey, that'd be cool if we could do that for the wedding and have a little ring bearer. And we thought, yeah, there's no way we're going to get this done, but let's try it. So we got busy. We built him up, and he was a little, about maybe 3/4 size of the real BB-8, and had a little problem. Couldn't get him to roll like he's supposed to. So we put a tux on him so he didn't have to roll. We just scooted him down the aisle, and so he was the ring bearer for Danny's wedding, Danny and Kristen's wedding. And then that spilled over into how can I get one to actually work correctly. So I started doing research, found the BB-8 Builders Club, and began building my own full-size replica of BB-8. And he will roll. He will also do a thumbs up, and also a candy dispenser too,
Which is very original.
Yeah. There's not going to be another BB-8 with a candy dispenser.
Really cool. It was cool seeing you actually use the candy dispenser in real life for the first time. It was funny because adults were more okay with it than kids, which was completely reversed to what the purpose of it was to begin with. Kid was looking at it like, I don't know if I should take a candy from a robot, but and parents were like, oh, it's okay, Jimmy, go ahead.
But once the first child did, none of them wanted to leave. They wanted to keep coming back for more.
But it was really cool. It's been really cool seeing BB-8's, or the reaction to BB-8. Even the first time that we got to take him out, it was to Huntsville Comic-Con, I believe, was the first time we really got to take him out and kind of field test him of sorts and everything. And it was some cool reactions. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, we first took him to Huntsville Space Center on the way up, and didn't get him out of the car good, and people were already asking for pictures. We got him set up with the space shuttle as a background, and got some really nice pictures, a lot of nice interaction with children who came up, and some parents as well. We even had one employee come running out. We thought they were going to run us off. And she just wanted to come out and get a picture of BB-8. And then we went on over to the Comic-Con, and we had a good time there. A lot of great reaction from the people going there. Got some pictures with Leia and with Han, and we had a great time that day.
Oh yeah, it was definitely fun. It was really cool. What I personally liked about seeing him kind of rolling around, and well, he wasn't entirely rolling. He was on his specialized stand that you'd created for him. It was pretty one of a kind. A lot of people enjoyed. but it made it to where he could be more animated. Because as far as BB-8 having all of his contraptions inside and rolling at the same time, that hasn't quite been cracked yet.
I will do it.
So the challenge is out there. It's going to happen. So you had him on a special stand and everything. And it was just like everywhere he went, like everybody was just enthralled with him. He was just the most adorable thing to everyone. Even the puppeteering on him as far as like his movement, everything was really cool. It was really neat. And you've taken him to a few other places after that, right?
Yeah, the biggest one we went to was Star Wars Celebration, which you took some pictures. I think you put those on Kessel Run. And we had a great time with him there. Run down so many batteries, it was fun. Got him out on the floor, rode him around.
Anywhere, like that didn't like we could go 10 minutes. A 10-minute walk would take us an hour.
Oh,
with
yeah.
BB-8.
Yeah, we were getting stopped constantly. Hey, can I take a picture? Yeah, that's what we're here for.
But yeah, and so you had Star Wars Celebration, and then even more recently, I believe he's gotten a chance to actually inspire some kids.
Yeah, we went to a couple of elementary schools, and the kids there just loved, especially the first one we went to with Nathan. It was our nephew, or my nephew's class, and we went there. They loved him. They wanted to know how he worked, so we opened him up, let him see how the robotics worked inside BB-8, and they enjoyed it. They really, really had a great time with him. And then we went to another school. They loved him as well. There was also another child there who they just want to see how he works. You know, it's great to see him operating, but they want to see how that robot works. So that's a lot of fun.
A little behind the curtain magic.
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool because, I mean, especially with a lot of what schools are pushing for as far as the STEM education, things like that with science and mathematics, robotics, and all that. Getting to see your favorite character, like a lot of people's favorite characters from Episode 7, brought to life right before you in your own classroom, especially with Nathan. I know he loved it. I know he was actually absolutely loving it, and that was his Uncle Bobby. But just seeing that inspiration for those kids, showing them that it can be done, that it's not this wow magic or anything like that. This is something that you can learn, and this is this is robotics. It's something that is the future, really.
Yeah, it is, and that's what I show the children, is that it doesn't take much to get started. You just have an idea, a few dollars, which honestly the robotics it starts off with a controller that costs about $6, called Arduino. And you can buy one of those cheap. You can get you can look online and find plenty of programs that other people have already made, and you can find some tutorials, and you can build anything. You start off with turning an LED on and off, and you can go all the way up to operating your own robot.
So was the BB-8 Builders Club a pretty great asset for you, you would say, joining the club?
Yeah, the club is great. The people there are very helpful. The creators of the site, Michael and Tiny, they've been very helpful releasing the files and helping everybody out to start building prototype or replicas for BB-8.
I do want to ask too, as far as just anybody getting started on their own BB-8 or even wanting to eventually, what kind of technical experience did you draw on while constructing BB-8?
Well, I already have some previous robotics and what's called PLC, which is Programmable Logic Controller. And basically you have a program that turns things on and off, just like what we have with Arduino. And you don't really have to have a lot of experience, though. You just have to have a desire to want to put something together and then search the internet, and you'll find the answers on how to get started slow and build your way from there.
And did you learn anything new during your build?
I learned a ton.
What are some things you learned?
Well, I didn't know anything about Arduino, so I had to learn that. I didn't know anything about making robots move like this one does. I had to buy my own printer, which people think that printers, that's just crazy expensive. Well, you can get one for under $500, and it's a very large printer. And I learned how to set it up, learned how to build that, and began printing my own things. And so if you look at my picture of BB-8, he is 3D printed plastic from the ground up. He does have aluminum inside for his frame and for his motor, what supports the motors and all, but on the inside. But on the outside, it's 100% 3D plastic.
Awesome. And so now that you have your first build out of the way, what are some of your plans for the future? Well, is BB-8 finished?
BB-8 is not finished. I'm still working to make him lighter so that I'll be able to get him to move around better and make him more stable so that whenever I take him places, he'll be able to actually roll like you see on the movies. I'm probably still another few months away for that. And I don't know. I like Johnny 5, if anybody knows who that is.
There you go. So is there a C-3PO or K-2SO in your future?
I don't see that unless Danny wants to come over and help me build one.
I mean, I'm always down. And so is there any advice that you would give to any future builders? Anybody who's interested in like R2 or BB-8 or just anything, cosplay, anything?
Find out what your passion is and go after it. If you sit back and hope it comes to you, it never will. Also, when you begin building it, don't expect it to be perfect. Get through that and continue pushing forward. Don't quit because it doesn't look perfect. Keep going. There was many times that BB-8 did not look like I wanted him to, but once we were finished and we did the weathering, which puts a little bit of character to him, I think he turned out great. So I'm glad I pushed forward and didn't just stop and throw it away and start over. So don't give up.
Awesome. All right, so obviously we have a complete BB-8 now. You've not finished him, but you're still working on him, but he is operable, he is lifelike, and it is awesome to see, puppet and everything. So while you were building him, what were some of the setbacks that you had in operating him or even in construction?
Okay, so how long is this show? There were a lot of them. So if you start to build your own robot or your own project, and you start to kind of fall apart a little bit, stay with it, because we had our own problems too. We wanted the head to stay on just a certain way, and so that it wouldn't fall off. Well, this poor guy's head's hit the ground probably about 15 times now. We were even at one event where we were just kind of playing around with him. Child was okay, been there for about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden he walks over and just grabs the head and throws it on the floor. Thankfully, Danny was there to get it was like a catcher, like a baseball player sliding to catch the ball. But
I wanted to throw up. That was sickening to watch.
He caught it. He caught the head and saved the day. We also had an incident where I got it all ready to go, got it turned on, and all of a sudden I hear poof inside of it, and I'm thinking, what could that be? And I turn and look, and there's smoke coming out of every crevice of BB-8.
Completely reminiscent of A New Hope.
Yeah.
The bad motivator.
Yes, his motivator did go bad that day. We actually ended up blowing up a battery, and it permanently melted into the bottom of BB-8. It's still there now. And but we were able to keep things going that day, and a lot of kids really enjoyed BB-8. Smiles. They had no idea what we'd gone through with the battery blowing up and a child pulling his head off, but had a great time. Great time.
That's awesome. I would imagine there was a lot of learning period as far as like while you're actually building him and things like that. Strip gears, things like that. Did you ever have oh no moments like this is not going to work out?
Every day. Yep. We got pushed to try to get him ready for an event, and it was going to be a Star Wars celebration. And I thought, well, I'm going to try a couple of things, and ended up tearing up some gears. And in our first version, I was actually up all night long because I burned up a board on my first version of BB-8, and this was the night before your wedding. And so I was up all night long trying to figure out how can I get this to work to go down the aisle. And I'm not going to tell you how I did it, but it was something else. And so we made it work. We pushed through and made it work.
Oh, it definitely was worth it. Because it made a lot of the wedding. I mean, with my groomsmen and everything, we were Star Wars themed. So I mean, we weren't like in Boba Fett armor or anything, but we walked. We went down the aisle to the main theme of Star Wars. So I mean, what better thing to have come after that than our ring bearer BB-8? I mean, that's the coolest thing.
And we also had our robot girls, BB-8 and R2-D2.
Right.
They were my nieces. And they were dressed up as them. Then my brother, who officiated the wedding, he had his Star Wars tie on, so that was really nice.
Whole lot of Star Wars stuff. My wife was very generous with the with the whole wedding part of it. So thank you, honey. I appreciate that.
We just needed stormtroopers there.
Oh yeah, 501st. Where were you at? No, I'm just kidding. So you had mentioned So we had gone to Star Wars Celebration, and that's where you got to meet a lot of the builders for the first time. A lot of them that you'd been conversing online with, and actually helping with some advice in your build and things like that. What was it like at Star Wars Celebration bringing BB-8?
It was overwhelming. Seeing that I had never seen an R2-D2, and that was a robot that I loved as a kid. And then I get there and I see an R2-D2, and I'm like, oh wow, just like a child again. And I'm over 50, so it was very shocking to see an R2-D2. And then I see another one, and there was about 30 or 40 of them in that room. But the one that made the biggest impression to me was R2-KT, and that one was built for a R2-D2 Builders Club member who his daughter had gotten cancer, and so they wanted to make this robot for her so that she could he could stay there by her bed and watch after her like R2-D2 did with Padme. And
I didn't know
so that was a very touching story. I would advise for you to look up R2-KT and read her story.
That's awesome. Yeah, you can get them tearing up a little bit there. That was cool. I didn't know that. I knew that it was built for her. I didn't know the reason for that. But yeah, no, everybody was really cool at Celebration. Like the whole week, I felt like I was with my people.
Yeah,
like it was a home away from home in a galaxy far, far away. It was really cool. Overall, if you were to choose one moment from Star Wars Celebration, what was your favorite?
Being there with you.
Aww.
It was an amazing time. I got to spend it with my son, and we had a lot of great moments. I really don't know that I could single out one of them. We enjoyed watching the trailer together. See that. We didn't get to actually be in the room with everybody, but to see the show together with Han Solo comes out, Luke Skywalker comes out, and all the characters. That was just a great time.
Oh yeah, it was still cool. I mean, I did feel like we didn't miss anything, even though like we didn't make it to 90% of the panels that we were like the night before. Oh, we're totally gonna hit every single one of these within a 30-minute time frame. It was like planning for Disney and not ever being to Disney before, it was cool, but like it wasn't. There was nothing disappointing at all about it. Even though we missed some of the panels, we didn't feel like we really missed anything, or I didn't feel like I really missed anything, because the whole thing was an experience. Like it was almost like the panels and all these other events were all extra, but I had the most fun just being there, like being able to walk the floor with BB-8 and you, and just kind of being able to hang out with just fellow Star Wars fans. That's the coolest thing. I honestly feel like Star Wars is the coolest fandom. That everybody's just so welcoming, and that's the feeling I got the whole time I was there.
Yeah, I did too. The R2 Builders Club, BB-8 Builders Club, those people were just great. I saw several times where someone would have a problem with their droid, they'd jump right in and help them out.
It's like an army that would help them out, yeah.
Yeah, and but I saw that kind of an attitude through a lot of people, and so it was a lot of great people there. It's kind of like, I guess, nerds and geeks unite.
Oh, yes. Yes, it was awesome. I can't wait for it to happen again, 2019. Do you think you know where it might be? You got a theory on where you think the next one may be?
I think it'll be Anaheim. I'd like for it to go back to Orlando so I can go, but I think it'll be Anaheim.
Oh, we're still going to go to Anaheim. I'm still fully planning. I've never been to California. You have. I haven't, and so that's something I have to cross off my list. So if it's at Anaheim, we gotta make plans to go. We gotta be there because it's obviously going to be something huge. Because I think that's around when Star Wars Land is supposed to debut at the Disneyland park.
Yeah, they have the one at Disneyland and Disney World are supposed to be opening up about the same time. But that's why I expect it's going to be there, because that's a big opening for Disneyland. along with the movie, and most likely they'll talk about the upcoming movies as well, like they did in this one. And look forward to it. Maybe we can make it.
Oh yeah, I'm down. And speaking of Disney, you actually have an app that you guys work with.
Yeah, myself and my brother, Kenny White, who goes by Kenny the Pirate, we have an app called CharacterLocator.com. It's not necessarily an app. You can't get it in the App Store. But if you go to CharacterLocator.com, you can check it out. And that's a site that can help you to plan your Disney trip. We cover characters, which a lot of people love to meet the characters, and we have ways that you can interact with them. A lot of tips on there. We also have ride information, ride videos, along with dining, and just a lot of great tools there to help you out with touring the parks.
Cool. It's a really great tool because it's got my favorite thing, like what you said, the character tips. Like that's been my favorite thing because when you guys first started it, I didn't even know it was there, and then once I saw that, like little things like you can press the reset button on Buzz and he goes into Spanish mode and stuff like that. Like the little things that just make those character interactions, which are the coolest, even cooler. And that's awesome. That's definitely really cool. And I believe that, do you guys already have stuff up for Pandora?
Yes, we already have the information you need for Pandora. We went opening weekend and had a great time. The ride is amazing. It's kind of like sitting on a motorcycle for Flight of Passage. It's like sitting on a motorcycle, but whenever it takes off, you can feel the Banshee breathing, and you have air blowing in your face, and it's a 3D ride that's just amazing. I haven't seen anything like this before.
That's cool. So yes, that's crossing streams a little bit, but it's still Disney, guys. It's still together. So guys, check out CharacterLocator.com, and you can find Kenny the Pirate at Kenny the Pirate on Instagram. I believe he's the real Kenny the Pirate on Twitter. But all in all, you can find everything you need to know at KennyThePirate.com and CharacterLocator.com. So that's it for our Kessel Run Weekly episode. You can find us at KesselRunWeekly.com, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Kessel Run Weekly. And leave your comments, theories, Star Wars conspiracies, whatever you want to leave. We want to talk with you guys and have a cool conversation with you because we love talking about Star Wars. I'm always on those sites. I know you are, so let's talk about it. Again, that's at Kessel Run Weekly on all your social media and KesselRunWeekly.com. Again, my name is Danny, and I have my special guest, Bobby White from the BB-8 Builders Club, joining me. So thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate you being on.
I had a great time. It was an honor to be on your show.
I appreciate that. And until next time, guys, may the Force be with you.